think one of the most frustrating aspects of becoming a mother, whether you're working or not, is that you're not allowed to be selfish anymore. Taking time for yourself the way you did before is now considered all of a sudden negative, that we're not allowed to nurture ourselves. So this episode, it feels like a stance that as mothers, we're allowed to be selfish. It not only is good for our children and our husbands, but it's good for us.
What do you want me to say?
So just talk about how blessed you feel being married to a stay-at-home dad.
Right.
I love the character Jenny, but I could absolutely understand how she could be polarizing to an audience. But look, that character exists within me. I think, frankly, it exists within most of us. It's whether we wish to identify or acknowledge it or not. Her vanity and her acting on her rage, acting on her disconnect, is what makes her so beautiful to me. Not a lot of people have the courage to act on that.
You see this?
Yeah, I see it.
We're gonna make one of these.
Why?
What do you mean why? Because it's pretty.
It's so easy as a parent, I do it all the time, where you think, okay, I wasn't with my kid all week, but this weekend is gonna be fantasy time. I'm gonna give my child everything they've ever wanted. And for Anne, that's the case. When she finally does make that effort with Alice, they can't find that common ground. They're both trying too hard. They're not actually listening to each other. They're projecting their own fantasies onto each other. And then ultimately, what connects them is something as simple as how they eat.
Hey, what about the Montreal thing? Any word?
Actually, I just found out they gave it to Mel.
The Weeper?
No, that's Carl.
The teenage Zorp.
That's Chad.
Ridiculous.
So Kate's father, Wayne, is someone who in many ways has been her guide. They have sort of a very quiet relationship where he's in full support of her decisions. A lot of people haven't been supportive of the decision she's made to return to work after becoming a mother. And it's really comforting for me that in this world where there's often so much gender politics, that it's her father who actually has her back. When Kate sits there in the car and decides to remain there, instead of going in to see her in-laws and her husband who's been waiting impatiently for her, you know, she just missed out on one of the biggest jobs of her life. So that moment in the car is powerful for her. She has to mourn it, and she can't do it publicly. She has to be alone.